Travel provided by Nintendo. Classic mode is back with some new updates, and while World of Light and Spirit Board have been getting most of the coverage and the attention, Classic mode still... Oh, hi Classic mode.
Hi!
What's going on? You've called. You don't want to be overtaken by World of Light or Spirit Board, I see.
Classic mode has taken control of Gabe, and I am now speaking as Classic mode. And you're right, I'm very worried that you might not want to play me, Zach.
That's sort of the focus for today. Is Classic mode something that we and you still will give time to, given the fact that there's all this other single-player content? I got to play a bunch of World of Light, as you know. I also played through Classic mode, and couple interesting notes here. One, it's 6 stages, a bonus game, and a boss. As you probably know, you can set the difficulty beforehand, and the bosses seem to be character specific. Now, not so specific that each character will have a one-to-one boss matchup, but in the characters we were allowed to play, we did see a number of bosses. As Wolf, I got to fight Gallium. We know that Captain Falcon takes on Giga Bowser. Duck Hunt fights Rathalos, and the potential for more. So that is pretty cool. The bonus game, it's not break the targets, but it does have you collecting these sun-like coins, racing against an ever-encroaching wall. But the big question, is this something you want to play?
It's going to be difficult because, as I alluded to earlier, there's so much more in this package at this point. World of Light being their spirits is going to take up a lot of people's times. There's online modes that I know are going to be more prevalent than ever. So this classic mode might probably go towards the bottom of the pile of stuff I want to try. But if I have less time, right, if I'm doing like a little bit of a quicker gameplay session that's maybe handheld, right? Let's say you're taking a bus somewhere and you have like 10-15 minutes to play something. Maybe I'd do a quick classic run, something like that. I feel like could be better suited for classic mode. But yeah, for me personally, World of Light and Spirit stuff is going to be where it's at. I'm still going to try Classic just because I want to try everything and I want to see some of these bosses and what characters have which bosses. But yeah, it'd be hard for me to say that this is going to be one of my priorities.
Yeah, playing it felt the most antiquated. After taking on so many challenges with spirits and some of the quirky different requirements or nuances that those battles had, this felt basic to me. I don't personally like the bonus game anywhere near as much as, say, like, break the targets or ride the platforms or any of those things. So it lacks most appeal to me. Now, the bosses, I feel, is where people are getting pretty worked up because they are cool, and the fact that we've seen a number of different ones already, it alludes to maybe more being in there and which characters are matched up against which bosses. My question then becomes, well, how much of this content is brought over from World of Light? Because that's the mode where we've heard speculation and rumors that bosses are supposed to really appear, right? We've heard for so long now, like Skull Kid is going to be a boss in that adventure mode. Will he actually be? I don't know, but is there carryover between these bosses? Because if there's not, then I absolutely want to play through Classic mode to see these different encounters and to take them on with their specific character matchup. But if it's all being borrowed from World of Light and that's what I play first, I feel like that takes away so much of the potential hype that Classic could hold.
Yeah, that's true, but each character has their own like unique roster and opponents for Classic this time.
True.
So that's going to make it different. So, I mean, maybe it'll still borrow some stuff. I would imagine it's going to. But depending on who you're using and depending on what you want to experience, I think Classic Mode is going to offer something different enough, I feel like.
Yeah, and the real deal will be what you can unlock via Classic Mode. I'm sure some characters will be tied to them. I'm sure they're going to be spread across the game given the scope and size of the roster. So there you'll be required to play Classic Mode to get everybody, I bet. I just wish that they would have maybe, I don't know, I wish they kind of would have gone more Classic, giving us break the targets, board the platforms, things of that sort would have been really fun as sort of a throwback, considering that this is sort of the ultimate Smash Bros. And maybe those are in there somewhere along the way as like a quick goof in World of Light. The home run minigame would be great to see as well if that gets included or squeezed in somewhere. It is quick, as you mentioned, and they do have a credits minigame, which I know a lot of people get a kick out of, shooting the credits and destroying all of the letters as you go for your high scores. You know, the difficulty settings, the sliding, and just trying to see what you can do. I was watching some pro players at the event really push that and challenge themselves. And from that standpoint, that's pretty cool because it's obviously not going to match up to online play and the difficulty that you could create there with human opponents, but it would be a chance to sort of test yourself as you progress through the game.
Yeah, you touched on something that I was going to mention. Like, I still want to see break the targets in some form, right? How is this the ultimate version of Smash Brothers and it's not in there? You know, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how many bonus stages are going to like be coming back, stuff like that. So there's still reasons to play it. It's just, you know, there's some other modes that probably give you more reason to play.
Do you think that they will have a bunch of bosses for these characters? You know, people have sort of like surmised, oh, maybe there's rivals for each character, and maybe, you know, that there is a ton of different matchups, given that at this preview event they showcased 4 characters, primarily because they fought 4 different bosses. I have to imagine that there's repetition, though, throughout the roster. First of all, there's no way that there's 74 bosses. Second of all, I don't even know that there's 37 bosses. And third of all, based on who we're seeing, I don't think like Gallium is the perfect wolf analogy. I feel like Gallium is going to be there for other characters as well. Similarly, I don't feel like Captain Falcon and Giga Bowser is like the premier face-off, so I would expect Mario to find himself battling Giga Bowser as well, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, and some of these like mix-ups are interesting, right? Because Ryu fights like Zero Suit Samus with Chun-Li's theme as the music, which is cool. So stuff like that, there's still like mix-ups, I guess. It's just, yeah, I don't know how many there's going to be, because you're right, you can't do that many.
Yeah, it's an interesting mode, and I've been surprised, honestly, to see it gathering hype, and I think it's because of the bosses, and if there's some other reason, I'd love to know in the comments down below why you guys are excited for Classic Mode. For me, World of Light is where I want to spend the majority of my time, and I think just because there's no spirits here, that might be appealing as well to some people that aren't as into that idea. Spirits completely won me over when I played, so I'm kind of aggressively wanting modes and content that incorporates them. But the fact that this is devoid of that and does sort of ring more true to what Smash Brothers was and kind of, as the name implies, very classic, I think that definitely draws attention. I'll be curious to see what they do unlock-wise, and just across the entire game. That seems to be one of the things that is yet to be revealed. It was asked at the event, like, you know, how often will you be unlocking characters? How arduous will that process be? And they kind of made it sound like, hey, it's going to be flowing throughout the natural progression of the game, and as you play things, like, you'll be unlocking characters quite frequently. So I'm curious if any will be tied to very specific or very difficult challenges, or if the goal here is to open up that roster, you know, almost as quickly as possible so that you have a chance to have as much fun as possible and enjoy the ultimate lineup of characters.
Just quickly, how do you prefer they do that, though? Like, because, you know, let's say you really want to use King K, which I know you do. Like, I mean, there's a scenario where you might have to wait a decent amount just because there's so many characters to unlock. So do you want them to just be, like, given to you as quickly as possible, or do you want them, like, maybe, like, have them be dripped towards you? Like,
I think normally I would want them more drip feed. Like, I would want that to come at a slower rate, so it encourages replayability, it encourages effort and dedication. The difference here is I feel there's so much content that I'm excited without unlocks to go through World of Light. I'm excited without unlocks, you know, to mess around with Spirit Board. And hey, it's not going to be my first choice. It's not something I'm very gung-ho about. But if there are bosses that are specific to Classic, or there are certain things that appear towards the end, or once you beat every character, I will dive into that as well. So for me, I guess I would, because everything's revealed, because we know DLC's coming, I guess I would just rather have the roster as quickly as I can, and then let the actual, like, modes and gameplay be what fuels my push. There's enough content there, I think, that they can go with a quicker route to increase the fun for, like, party, regular Smash mode gameplay.
At this point, we are only mere weeks away, Zach, and that feels so weird to say. The biggest game of Nintendo's year that's not named Pokemon is about to come out. I feel like this is going to smash, and, you know, pardon the pun, smash Pokemon, like, out of existence with the pure mind share it's going to have in the Nintendo gaming universe. Like, people are all sorts of excited, a little too excited in some cases because, you know, other stuff happening. But, yeah, man, I can't believe we're about to have this.
I really feel that this will be anti-Pokemon in terms of public reception. They, to me, have done everything right and have included so much that I think when you get the game, rather than feeling like, ooh, this is lacking, or ooh, I wish this wasn't this way, or gosh, this is easy, or man, like, can't wait for the next one. This, to me, I think is going to be like, dude, they crush this, because whether you're a classic mode fan, whether you're pumped for the new World of Light, whether you're intrigued by spirits, or whether you just want to go online, so much goodness here and so much to see. It'll be curious to find out how many bosses are spread across World of Light and Classic. Let us know your take in the comments down below. Are you pumped for Classic, and why? Is there anything you've heard that you're excited for, or any boss matchups that you dream to see? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We'll basically have content now for the rest of the year, because we got a lot to talk about. The game is very close, and then that is going to be our Kirby's air ride through the rest of 2018, given that he is the catalyst for so much of this game. Until next time, everyone, have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. For myself and Gabe, SwitchForce, out.